Hi guys, happy Thanksgiving. It's definitely not Thanksgiving when you're watching this, but it's Thanksgiving when I'm filming this, and I feel like that counts for something. Welcome in to NanoWriMo Diaries number 3. This is the third and final installment of my Nano Diaries series. If you're new around here, hello, my name is Brielle. I'm a 24-year-old newbie writer working on a romantic fantasy project for my first ever NanoWriMo, and this is part 3 of the weekly vlogs that I've been doing to document the process. We are in the home freaking stretch, and by the time you're watching this, it is really the home stretch. Since it is Thanksgiving, I obviously have the day off, and I thought we would just go ahead and start the vlog because yesterday I came up with some ideas that I frantically voice memoed my friend Amina about just because I needed to talk them out. So thank you, Amina, for listening to my chaotic voice memos. But I came up with some ideas for the main character's backstory. Guys, this was one of the big holes about this character for me. I feel like I did not know her at all. Like, I knew nothing about her besides her name and her general personality. Coming up with this idea for her backstory, not only did it sort of start to explain why she was the way she was and give her some depth, but also it was a really good way to illustrate the way their society works and how that actually was to live in a more concrete way than just describing how oppressive and crazy it was. So I'm feeling really excited about those ideas, and needless to say, that has me feeling inspired to keep working on the book, even though I'm probably not going to touch those ideas until after Nano. But yeah, I don't know, I'm feeling really good today. And take a wild freaking guess where we're going. Are you guessing? We're going to the magical coffee shop that has become my saving grace during Nano, or we're going to try to. Is it open on Thanksgiving? I honestly could not tell you. I could just look it up, but if it's not open, we're just gonna go to Starbucks. It's like a bit of a less ideal scenario, but I'll take it if we can't go to the magical coffee shop. But of course I want to go to the magical coffee shop. If you don't know what I'm talking about, this coffee shop, every time I'm there I get high word counts. I've been hitting like 2,000 words every time I'm there, which is, it's high for me, and I'm really excited because I've really been craving this the last few days and I haven't done it, so feels good to be getting back to it. I want to continue the little questions thing that I started in the last episode, so I don't know why I'm leaning down. I just want to be a little closer and my tripod isn't tall enough, so I have to crouch. What is your guys' modified word count goal for Nano? Now that we've gotten this far in, are you still trying to hit 50k? Have you set a new goal for yourself that's a little more realistic? If you have any other thoughts you want to share about how Nano went, how your project went, also feel free to leave them down in the comments. I will be doing a Nano reflections video where we can all talk a little bit more about our experience in general, but I have such energy about me today and I kind of love that for me. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get to the coffee shop. My boyfriend has stuffing in the crock pot. Oh my god. Wow. Also, my right contact has gone blurry. This happens all the time. All the freaking time. I need to go change it out because if I get all the way to the coffee shop and then can't see, I'm gonna be pissed. Alright, let's roll. So the coffee shop actually only stayed open for like half an hour, which makes sense. They close early for Thanksgiving. I do feel like I got a pretty high word count given the amount of time that I was able to spend there. I wrote almost 600 words. We're now in the park, obviously, as you can probably tell. I would like to at least break 1,000 words today to get us off to a good start for like this weekend, which I feel like is very doable. Even if I write like 400 more words, we'll break 1,000. Feeling pretty good about what I wrote so far today. It wasn't anything crazy. I'm just continuing a scene that I was working on last weekend. It's kind of the aftermath of the scene that I was really excited to write. Oh my god, there's a wiener dog. Celebrity sighting. Every time I see a wiener dog, I literally feel like I'm seeing a celebrity. So we're gonna get a little bit more writing in, and yeah, that's it. No more thoughts. Okay. So I got in the zone outside and In fact, my computer literally died in the midst of me writing, but it looks like it saved all my progress, thankfully. At first, it was very slow going. I think I was doing a lot of writing and then rewriting, and I was just struggling to get any words that I liked on the page. I feel like I had to test a few things out, and then I was like, no, I don't like that. Backtrack. So it was not like I was just flowing through it. It was very much like write, delete, write, delete, write, delete, and trying to figure out what I wanted to happen next. It was not super clear, so I had to do a little bit of experimenting, some very discovery-esque writing, but we did manage to get some words down, so let's take a look. Okay, so we got 794 words at the park, which brings our grand total for today to 1,403. I'll take it. Not quite as high of a word count as I was kind of hoping to get, but I was moving a little slower than usual, so honestly, 1,403 words is a great start to this vlog, and I'm gonna go get ready for my Thanksgiving festivities. It's now like afternoon, so I will check in with you guys tomorrow because I have the day off, and you can bet I'm gonna be doing quite a bit of writing. I was feeling a little stuck, but I'm feeling a little bit better now that I was able to work through some of those question marks, and I feel like I kind of know where I want to go with this scene tomorrow. So, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and log this into the Nano website. So this is where we're at after today, coming up on 17,000 words. Love it. So I'm adding a little voiceover here because I didn't actually film any chatting clips on Friday, but essentially I started off the day with a writing session at Starbucks. It was kind of a slow moving session, but it also was pretty short, and I hit about 500-ish words during this session. Nothing crazy, and I definitely felt like I was in the thick of the Act 2 slump. I was struggling a little bit with getting the words down onto the page, and things just weren't flowing super naturally. I felt like I kept reworking sections, and this is very similar to how Thursday had started off as well. But later in the day, I ended up whipping up a little iced matcha and sitting down to film a real-time write with me. That video will be coming out next, but essentially I had to sit at my computer and write for a good hour, and I actually ended up filming for an hour and a half, and I made a pretty good dent in the project. We'll talk a little bit more about what I wrote and how it went in a bit, but essentially between the Starbucks session and my real-time write with me, I managed to hit 2,000 words for the day, which I was very, very happy with. You know that I had to film with the Christmas tree in the back. Literally, how could I not? Okay, so let's talk a little bit about yesterday and the writing that I got done, because I only got B-roll from yesterday. We didn't end up chatting, but I did get some really great words down. So like I mentioned in the sort of voiceover, I was struggling a little bit earlier in the day. The same thing that happened on Thursday. I think it just takes me some time to get warmed up, but also a pattern that I noticed was when I was getting stuck and slowing down quite a bit, it tended to be when I was writing more summarizing type of sections, more internal monologue or description heavy sections where essentially I need to figure out a lot of what goes down and be able to summarize it effectively. So essentially, I'm not writing dialogue in real time. I'm not writing a back and forth interaction. I'm writing the sections of them practicing magic, right? And for certain parts, I want to kind of skip ahead, but still summarize what happened in the in-between for the reader, because obviously we cannot be with the characters in real time for 8 hours while they're practicing, right? That's just not realistic. But also I don't want to just like skip ahead in time and not acknowledge it. So I'm having to do some summarizing, basically saying like, okay, and then we practiced shielding, and this is how that went, and then we practiced blah, and this is how that went. So those sections were really slowing me down. I think it's because it required quite a bit more thought to think up, okay, what are they actually doing in this time? And I feel like I've really focused on providing good description details during those sections and making the writing a little bit nicer, which obviously slows me down. So that's where I think I'm getting into slumps, is when I have to do those sections, but they're just kind of a necessary evil for getting through this part of the book. That being said, when I did the real-time writing session, I really got into flow on the 2 scenes I was working on. One was a sort of dialogue heavy confrontation happening at a dinner table between a wide mix of characters that was really interesting and sort of set the stage for a reveal that I'm then writing in the following scene. Reveal is kind of not the right word, but essentially it's Varen opening up about something in his past to the lead character. If you're not familiar with my fantasy book project that I'm working on, Varen is the male lead and he is the ruler's son. So he's divulging a bit of his personal history to our main character, and I just really liked the way that I set up these 2 scenes to interact. I originally wasn't even planning to sort of plant the seed for this reveal in the previous scene, but it kind of just happened, and I feel like it was the perfect build-up and lead into him then explaining this part of his backstory without it feeling random and like he's just trauma dumping for no reason. Like, it's like, okay, this situation happened and you realized that I'm hiding this piece of information. Now I'm going to tell you about it in the following scene, and it ended up working out really well. well. And yeah, I had a lot of fun reworking that second scene that I had some of the dialogue already written, but I was basically fleshing it out, giving it a setting, giving it context. It totally just like is bringing the scene to life, and it's helping a lot because originally all I had was the blocks of dialogue, and it felt very much like, okay, Varen's going on this dramatic monologue. It felt very kind of stale, forced, but with the wider context of the scene and with little interjections and actions I'm able to throw in to break up his speech, it's feeling a lot more organic, engaging, and I'm really excited about that. And also just having this taste of reworking material has me feeling really excited for revision. I've been thinking about revision a lot lately. I don't know why the thought of it is so exciting. Like, I'm just like, can't wait to be there. I really want to like print out the whole book, even though realistically I'm going to be doing my actual revising in Scrivener, and I'll probably have to transfer my physical notes into Scrivener anyway to be more realistic. I do really like the idea of printing out the whole story, doing the read through like that, and then maybe even like marking it up with highlighters. There's something about that that just like makes me happy, and I can't wait to hold even just a printed out document in my hands and be like, I fucking wrote this shit and now I'm reading it. I think I want to almost read it casually like a reader first and then really go in and mark it up. We'll see how that process ends up being, but that's kind of a tangent. Anyway, the writing's going well. But I do feel like I'm getting a taste of the Act 2 slump in these past few days, and I'm really just making an effort to trudge through it, and having these longer writing chunks where I'm able to get into flow by the end of the chunk is really helping my word count as well, because at the beginning of each day's worth of writing, I'm really hitting those slump periods, and maybe it's just conveniently where I am in the scene tends to make that happen, but I definitely feel like later in the day, once I've been writing for a couple hours that day, is when I'm able to really get into the flow and get the words down. All of that being said, it is now Saturday and I'm about to have my writing stream. Not about to, but okay, I'm hopping onto the stream with my friend Amina in 25 minutes, and then the actual stream starts in like 40 minutes. So I have about half an hour essentially before I have to be on the stream. What I really want to do to give myself the best chance of possible of making this stream as productive as I can, because with streaming there's a bit of an added pressure of like, okay, I'm hosting this stream. It's not super easy to get into the flow of writing when you're like worried about hosting a stream. So I would love to give myself even just like 15 minutes before the stream to start writing, in hopes that that little bit of momentum will make it easier for me to slide into it during the stream, and I'm not like looking at the document for the first time when we're already in stream. Does that make sense? So I think we're gonna make some hot chocolate and then sit down at my desk and just try to like do a tiny bit of a warm-up sprint before we do the live stream. After the words that I got in yesterday, I am only like 1,000 words away from 20K. If we could come close to that tonight, that would be so cool. Holding out hope for that. Let's go make some hot chocolate. On second thought, we're gonna do the writing warm-up first so that my hot chocolate is still hot during this stream. Okay guys, we are getting ready to stream. I have hot cocoa in hand. Amina's working on her setup. We have literally 3 minutes until we go live. Wasn't able to get many words in the little prep sprint that I did. I pretty much was just copying and pasting the old material. Sorry. I was pretty much just copying and pasting the old material. It was working pretty well in the scene, so. But hopefully we'll get a good few hundred words in during our sprints. Wish us luck. Stream is complete and we got 403 words. Nothing crazy, but I did also do some brainstorming and I have some ideas that I'm excited to work with for the chapters that I'm gonna work on tomorrow. Feeling pretty good. Good morning, happy Sunday. Today is what I'm calling the last full day of Nano because, as you guys know, I have a whole ass job, which means that during the week, writing, not usually something that happens. So in my mind, this is like kind of the end of Nano. This is the big hurrah. This is my last chance to really get some words in. At first, I was like not even sure if I was gonna write today. My boyfriend has the day off from work, which never happens on the weekends. We have a lot of stuff planned today and I was like, I just don't know if it's gonna happen. But I'm like, it's my last full day of Nano. I'm gonna write and I'm gonna make it special for myself because I'm so close to hitting 20,000 words in this. I was gonna say in this manuscript, but that's not true. I'm so close to hitting 20,000 words for Nano. I'm literally like 700 words away and I'm like, I deserve to hit that milestone and I deserve to do it in a coffee shop with a croissant in my hand. So with that being said, we're definitely gonna go on a little writing date. So I'm gonna be super thrilled, honestly, with hitting 20,000. It would have been great to maybe do a half Nano to hit 25K, but I'm not gonna push it I'm just gonna write however much feels natural today, and if, you know, I'm feeling like writing more throughout the week, if I want to like top off my word count and go for that 25k, I'm obviously not going to hold myself back from doing that. But if I hit 20k and I'm kind of like, yeah, this feels like where I want to stop for the month, that's okay too. So that's kind of the perspective I'm going into this final little stretch with. But for today, we're just gonna go to a coffee shop and write however much feels natural, however much I'm able to do in the amount of time that I'm there, and see where we get to. I do have a little bit of a headache, but I took some leave, so I'm hoping it will subside by the time that I get there, because I think it's gonna be really hard for me to write if the headache is still around by the time I get to the shop, because I can barely like think straight, which I don't love for me. All that being said, welcome into the final day of this vlog. I think we are gonna wrap things up for this Nano Diaries episode today, because I've been vlogging so much between this series and the main channel video that I'm filming right now. I'm like a little bit burnt out. I'm like, okay, we're gonna wrap everything up today, and then if I do add words and end up with a different final word count for Nano than we have today, I'll mention that in my Nano Reflections video. Let's go ahead and head out for the coffee shop, because I want a Gruyere and thyme croissant. And I deserve that, because I've done so great this month and I'm so proud of myself. Alright, we officially did it. We broke 20k. I wrote over 1,000 words at that coffee shop. I'm feeling so proud of myself, and I feel like that was a really nice way to end this episode of Nano Diaries. So I love the scene that I wrote. I did some great brainstorming about the history of this civilization, this fantasy world. Discovered some more things about how I want to frame the government and how Varen's father came into power, and just started learning a lot more things, and found a really kind of, in my opinion, natural way to do some of that world building information dumping within the scene that I was writing, within like the context of them being at a bookstore and like looking at like history books, which they've never really seen before, because in the city that they're from, they've all been like destroyed. It was a really good scene to write, and I feel like it was a good balance between world building, but also like building up the romance and like having some romantic tension build. And I'm really excited going into the next scene that I'm gonna write as well, and the scene after that. So like, I feel like I'm in a good section of the book where I have the ideas and things are looking up. And for now, at least, we're at kind of a peak in the highs and lows of Act 2. It's very much been a roller coaster. There are scenes that I'm like, oh yeah, this is great, I'm excited for this. And then there's a lull. And that's just kind of how, you know, the book process goes, I guess. All that being said, I'm super happy with the progress that we made, both today and with Nano in general. I'm feeling really great about this project and excited to take it to the finish line. I feel like Nano was a really great like jump start, helped me to maintain the progress that I've been making, and this is certainly not the end of me documenting the process of this rough draft. I'll definitely continue to make vlogs documenting the rough draft journey, regardless of Nano. So I hope you guys will stick around to continue to see the progress of Project The Wall, and hopefully we can document it all the way to it being finished and in my hands in a concrete binded form. If you guys did enjoy this installment of the Nano Diaries series, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to support me and enjoy my content, I do have a Ko-fi page where you can essentially buy me a coffee. It's a really sweet way to support me, so I'll have that linked down in the description if you're interested. Otherwise, I will see you guys in my next video very soon, and I hope you all had an amazing Nano. It was so fun going through this journey with you. Bye!